Well, Thursday night football's done. What a terrible game. Every single week we get a Thursday night football game that is just terrible. If it's close, it's because both teams are playing like trash and just making several mistakes. Or you get a game like this where it's not much of a blowout, but it really should have been a blowout. Like, it was just... The Titans, I don't know what the heck happened to the Titans. Week 1, they were dominant against the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if this speaks more about the Browns getting crushed that way, or it speaks more about the Jags maybe being overhyped at that time. That's why I hate when people try to overhype. Even with my team, don't overhype my team after 2 games. I don't need that. Come back week 8, week 9. Let's see. After my Ravens go up against the Patriots, let's see what their record is after that. Then we could talk about overhyping or underhype or whatever you want to say. But we may have looked at week 1 and Cleveland getting dominated and just losing at home. That could be because they're trying to fit these many. Like, if you really look at that game, it was close into the fourth quarter where Baker threw 3 interceptions. And the Jags just took advantage of that. They took advantage of the multiple penalties put on Cleveland, and they managed to blow them out. Since then, week 2, they lose that game, and then it gets another divisional rival. They come here week 3 in Jacksonville, and they get dominated. I don't know what happened to Mariota. Week 1, he looks great. Week 2, he looks subpar, and week 3, he just looked bad in this game. But not even gonna put it on him because his offensive line couldn't protect him they couldn't protect him at all. I think he got sacked 6 times in this game. He was not protected at all. And when he had an opportunity, just a bunch of missed throws. Derrick Henry couldn't really get something going for them, and it was terrible. They only managed to put up 7 points, and that was in the fourth quarter. Penalties killed them. The offensive line not protecting Mariota killed them. It was just terrible all around. As for the Jags, they really should have blown them out and put up more points. Gardner played a great game. He should have 3 touchdowns. He threw 2 touchdowns. He should have 3, but apparently D.D. Westbrook decided to play like trash today. This man had 3 drops, and one of his drops was, all of them were perfectly in his hands. He just dropped them. Perfectly thrown balls, he just dropped them. And the third one he dropped was in the end zone, would have been a touchdown, and I would have given Gardner 3 touchdowns. But apparently D.D. Westbrook's hands are just for decoration. He can't catch. I don't know what happened to him this game. Played like trash. Also, for the running game for the Jags, Leonard Fournette, he couldn't get anything going. He had negative 8 yards until late in the fourth quarter. He breaks it for a 69-yard run. So I think he's going to finish with, I think 63, because he had like 2 other rushes tonight. 63, 67, something around there, rushing yards in this game. So that kind of helps out his average. But they couldn't get any running game going. So yeah, Gardner, man, he played a great game. He didn't turn the ball over. Should have had 3 touchdowns. Played pretty great. But this game should have been just a straight up blowout. So now both the teams are 1-2. So good for them. We don't know about the status of Jalen Ramsey. We don't know if he's going to be traded. I mean, we've been hearing about teams. I think the Eagles are putting it, the Seahawks, the Chiefs, my Ravens, all this other stuff. I don't know if he's going to be traded. And if he is going to be traded, I don't know where to. I would love for him to come to my Ravens, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It is what it is. But yeah, he didn't get hurt in this game, so people were talking about that on Twitter, like, what if he ends up getting hurt in this game? He didn't get hurt. He was fine. Everything's good with that. But as for this game, there's not much for me really to talk about. It was a bad game because there's so many mistakes from the Titans side and a bunch of mistakes from the Jags side that would have ran up the score. This wasn't close from the start, which shouldn't have been close. Once the Jags took a 14-0 lead, it really looked like they were going to keep it at 14-0. Heck, it was a terrible game. It was a terrible game. And Thursday Night Football continues to be disappointing. Can we get a good Thursday Night Football game? Heck, last week when you had Carolina and Tampa Bay, that wasn't a great game either. It was close, but Cam played so terribly, and their offense was so terrible. And Winston wasn't bad in that game, but it felt like they could have put up more points. Like, they really should have been able to put up more points. I guess give credit to the Carolina's defense. But for the offense for Carolina, that was terrible. It was disgusting to watch Cam. So many overthrows, so many missed throws. It was sad. Can we get a good Thursday Night Football game, for God's sakes, man? Either that or just abolish Thursday Night Football. I'm tired of this, man. But that is what it is. So that's your recap. Ramsey's still healthy, so good luck with that trade. Gardner played great. He might, honestly, I think he could really get a couple wins for them, so he played great. Titans, a big question mark on them, and this is why we don't want to crown them or give any credit to the Titans, because they come out here and perform like this. Mariota couldn't find anything today. D.D. Westbrook's hands are just for decoration, and the Jags win this game 20-7, and both teams are now 1-2. That's all I got. I'm out.